Great to have the mayor in FYI, it's second Thursday of the month. And let's get right into it. North River Drive, that's creating quite a stir, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the hot topic right now. I guess I think it's important to explain the what's going on. So our federal House of Representatives and our representative in our district, Miller Meeks, has community funding projects, right? Where you can submit projects to her, and they're basically an earmark through the federal appropriations. So that's what we're looking at here. The folks that are working on this project have been working on it for a long, long time, right? I think they said 20, 30 years. So that dates, I'm like back in high school that time when we're doing this, right? So they're working on this, and they submitted last year. The city was the sponsor for it. We asked for 1.5 million. They got approved for 1 million of that through the appropriations, right? It never made it through appropriations at the federal level because the current administration stopped all grant programs like this. No money's going out, right? So what they're asking for is, do we want to resubmit for this fall? Because this fall they would be going through their budget for the appropriations again. If we resubmit, we don't know if we would be awarded. We don't know if the administration is going to even allow things to be awarded, but it would be in there as a project. There is a match that comes with it of $250,000, and then the full planning and design of this whole thing to finish it out would be $1.9 million. So after this million, say we get the million through appropriations, there'd be a $900,000 gap that we have to figure out.
So that is just the planning and the design. It's not the actual putting it down on the street.
Correct. And I want to make it clear, I'm trying to give facts to everybody on exactly what's happening. This is not me saying one way or for or against anything, but some people are using the word study incorrectly. It's not a study. The feasibility study of whether or not this could potentially happen is already done. That was done several years ago. What this would be is a full planning and design of the road and the increased levy and all that. And that planning and design has to be completed in order to get a 408 permit with the Corps of Engineers. So could you say potentially that they nix it and they don't give the permit at the end of it? It's possible, right? But the engineering firms worked closely with the Corps, so they're assuming that it could be.
Now, there have been 3 public meetings, and you've got 3 great public meetings.
Yeah. We've tried listening posts, is what we called them, in the past, and they were kind of just not good. Nobody showed up, maybe one person. I was able to make it to 2 of the meetings. I didn't make the one up at Homer's Deli, Sweetheart Bakery. I made the one at Deanna's Java, and then I made the one at the Rusty Barrel on Tuesday night. So appreciate the 3 business owners for allowing us to host them. Both meetings had people on the opposing sides, I guess. The sentiment that I got from the majority was that, they're worried about the environmental impact. They're worried about the serenity of the trail and having that beautiful space that's kind of in the city, but feels like you're not. They don't want that to go away. I think there's a lot of misconceptions out there about exactly what the project is, too, which is driving some feelings from certain people. But it was really nice to hear citizens and see large groups of citizens show up to these meetings and be involved and give feedback, because that's really what the council members need when they're looking to make a decision is that feedback from the citizens.
Up next, we got veto on riverfront plan. Fill us in on that.
Yeah, I kind of put these next to each other because we recently, a few weeks back, had a riverfront development study, and it was labeled a master plan at the council meeting. So we started this a long time ago with Smith Group, and it was a planning of what could happen on riverfront north to south, right? Originally, I guess getting into this, I thought it was going to be a lot of amenity type things and this and that. But what happened is when the study came down, they had a lot of housing pieces in there, right? Now, I will tell you that if some sort of developer came and wanted to have conversations about that type of stuff, I think we would at least need to have the conversation, let the citizens decide, right? But having it as a master plan, like this is our plan to build houses here, do condos here, do commercial here. I felt like I learned over the last year from the citizens, they don't want that. They want our park space and our place to remain the same, right? So I vetoed this as a master plan. Doesn't change the fact that we actually have the plan, right? We did the study, we paid for it, we have it. Doesn't change that. But as a master plan, as a future roadmap, because we have a parks master plan, right? And we follow that pretty closely, like what we want. I didn't feel like this was appropriate to adopt it as a master plan, because the study has a lot of really cool things in it that I like, that are park driven, amenity driven, quality of life driven. And I've talked to the city administrator and Josh about we should take those things out of that study and then amend them into our parks master plan. Don't do the housing, not the condos, not the commercial stuff, right? Leave that alone, let it lie there, but take the good stuff out of it, and whether it's RV camping on the north end by the river, whether it's Rainbow Park and updating that. We need updates to the pool. The pool is getting old. The pool's having a lot of troubles, right? It's expensive to run it as it is. It's going to get more expensive as things continue to break and we can't find parts and it's retrofitted and all that stuff. So there's ideas for that. So I think those ideas are really good, and we want to maintain that. But I vetoed it because I did not feel that adopting this as our future roadmap for Riverfront was appropriate, because I didn't think the citizens felt that way.
How much property does the city actually own along our riverfront? Is it all of it?
So it's not. That's one thing that people have got wrong as well. All that ground in front of the sawmill where McElhaney's used to be up on the north end, the sawmill owns all that. There might be one or two private property owners in that area as well. South of that, you get to that like Jurgensen hauling area. We don't own any of that. We own basically from the North Bridge south, and then you get into South Clinton, and then it kind of splits up to private and industry. And then on the north side, by the 30th Avenue boat ramp, we own a little bit there.
Okay.
And there's some private owners there. So we don't own anything around the sawmill, right? And I know folks are giving us ideas of you should do this or that there, but we can't. Right, that's a sawmill thing, and it's their business to develop it or whatever they determine to do there. So, I just think it's really important to people to know that, I've heard you over the last year with the parks petition and all that kind of stuff, and hopefully. And I feel it was the appropriate thing to do in this scenario, just based on the feedback I've received over the last year. So,
Visiting with Scott Maddasion on FYI before we get to the weather break, let's talk a little bit about that Arboretum project. What an undertaking by the Clinton Community College.
Yeah, I don't know if a lot of people know about it, so I wanted to highlight it because the designs for this it's really, really cool. It's not only going to maintain the Arboretum itself with the plants, and they're going to increase some of that, but it's going to maintain the historic value of the house, but it's going to add like an entertainment area that you could rent out, so now you could have your wedding at the Arboretum and you could walk up and have your reception right there as well, right? Maybe something like that. So it's a really, really cool concept, and I just want everybody to know that Clinton Community College and the Hall B. Share Foundations worked really hard on this. They've raised a ton of money. It's not a city project. There's not city dollars going into it, but it's really, really cool, and I think everybody should take a look at it because it's going to make that space even busier than it is on prom day, when everybody's there taking pictures.
That is great. It's unfortunate we don't have our four-year college anymore, but it is outstanding that we still have a quality community college.
Oh, I mean, quality is an understatement. They're awesome down there, and the leadership and the instructors. I've gone to several classes. They've asked me to come in and talk to their classes and things like that. And then Brian Kelly, the president down there. I mean, they're all great people, and they're doing things for the right reason. And I think they're really, really opening the door up for a lot of opportunity for our young people and whoever wants to go back and get an education through that system. So
more with Scott Maddasion. Let's take a break for the weather, brought to you by Addington Place.
We'll take a break from the summer-like warmth as we go through your Thursday. More sunshine today and a little bit more of a breeze as well. Temperatures this afternoon reaching the beautiful low 70s. Tonight, it will be cooler, mostly clear skies, light winds will drop to the upper 30s, right around 40 degrees. With your Storm Track 8 weather impact forecast, I'm meteorologist Andrew Stutzky.
Sunshine, we're at 54 degrees. Still got those northeast winds up around 15, 20 miles an hour. Our update brought to you by Addington Place. At Addington Place of Clinton, their all-inclusive memory care means peace of mind for families. No surprise fees, just compassionate, personalized care. They provide 24-hour nursing, daily grooming and bathing assistance, secure outdoor recreation, engaging activities, and 3 freshly prepared meals a day, all included. With a blend of holistic and science-based approaches, they support seniors living with Alzheimer's and other memory challenges in a safe, enriching environment. Call 563-219-7237 or visit addingtonplaceofclinton.com to schedule a tour. Addington Place of Clinton, where every moment matters. Visiting with Scott Maddasion. Detours for detours.
Yeah.
Manufacturing and Bluff. I mean, when it gets done, it is going to be remarkable. How did this all come about? How did this development to do this come about?
So that started before I even came on board. That would be, and I don't remember exactly what year it started, but I know it was filtered through Jason Kraft, the city engineer, and I don't know if it was our city administrator now, Matt, or if it was Jessica before him that kind of started the idea. But they had applied for the RAISE grant a couple times, and when I came on board right away, we went to DC, and that was the third time. It was kind of like, we got to do something different. We submitted twice, we haven't got it. What can we do differently? We're like, well, let's go to DC and actually talk to people that are making the decision, right? So we did that, and sure enough, we got it. So hopefully, that kind of change of approach worked. And so it's been a long time coming. I mean, we've patched and put together and whatever, crack sealed too many times on that road. And Bluff is a highly traveled road. I mean, people are using that constantly. It almost connects everything, really, right? Between neighborhoods and commercial districts and all that. So, but yeah, it's moving along. It's great to see that it's actually, it came to fruition. I mean, you and I have been talking about it, once a month for for 2 years, right? And then now we're finally going. So
they're all out there. They're doing the work. And do you go by?
I do. Yeah, so I live not too far from where they're working right now. I'm up kind of by the Arboretum, right? So, Bluff Manufacturing was like my main thoroughfare to get out to the west side, and then coming down to wherever City Hall or wherever it's going to be. So, I'm out there quite a bit, and then my young kid is in soccer, so going around to get to the soccer fields, you got to go different ways. But we have the detours up. We've had to detour some detours because of phase of the project that they're working on. The one thing that I think we really need to highlight is all the businesses along there are still open. Nobody's closed, right? So whether it's Clinton Floral or Time Out or Temp Associates or the car dealership, Right Lane Motors, all those places are still open, right? And I think it's important for people to know that detours are inconvenient and they kind of stink, but we're gonna have to put up with it for a little bit. And we want to make sure that you just follow the roads. We got signs up to tell you to get there, and those places are still open. So please make sure you're patronizing them just like you would any other time. It just takes you an extra couple minutes to get there.
Traffic flow, and you have nothing to do with this, but they're going to be closing the North Bridge for almost all of the summer into September.
Yeah.
And so South Bridge, the downtown area, the traffic there is going to be something else.
Yeah, I mean, and they have the South Bridge closed right now, right?
Right.
It's a couple days, 3 days, 4 days. They have that.
Yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
Right. So they're working on that. So it's going to be another inconvenience, right? Because you're going to have a lot of people traveling through town as well. Because if you come from the north down, and you're trying to get through and go across on the 136 and get over to 30, that's the route. Now they're going to have to come all the way down and through the town. So you're going to see a lot more traffic on 2nd Street. You're going to see a lot more traffic all over, really. And it's inconvenient, but it's got to get done.
Yeah, no doubt about that. So, again, just be patient. Understand what they are doing is to the benefit.
Yeah.
So take care of that.
Yeah.
So downtown revitalization.
Yeah, so we just got an announcement yesterday, which I thought was something appropriate to talk about today. We applied for a $650,000 downtown revitalization grant, a CDBG grant through Iowa Economic Development Authority. It's a lot of words there. But what it is, we've done this in the past. If you look at Elite Graphics, Miles Communication, Doodads, Mr. Kettleson owns it, but it's a building right next to there. The windows up at Rastrelli's. We did this before, right? And the business owners put in a little bit, the city puts in a little bit, and then the state kicks that money down from that block grant, and we get facades done. So we applied for this a few years ago, but the facade grant for the Wilson building hadn't been completed, so we got punted and said, well, you got to finish this one before we get that one. So we applied for a second time for this, and this is going to be the Ankeny building down there on the corner of 5th and 2nd Street. This money will go towards that, and there's one other building involved, and I can't remember which building it is, but it's right on 5th Avenue South there. It was a kind of a package thing. So this money will come to completely renovate the facades of those buildings, and the Ankeny building has like 8 addresses or something like that, because there's all those different shops underneath there, but it'll make that look really good. So just a really cool thing to help the downtown business owners get a facelift on their building. And with all the great work that people have done down there, I mean, adding this in there it's just another piece that makes that downtown really pop and really come back. And obviously, we have to finish this grant before we apply for another one, but this is generally something that stays open. So if you're a business owner anywhere in town and you're looking for something like this, you should contact myself or Matt, the city administrator. We'll get you on the list so that when this grant is completed, we can get the details and we can put you in there and we can apply again. It's not guaranteed we're going to get it, but I think we've got the Wilson building one, we got the one that I just talked about, and we have this one. So we've got 3 of them. It takes a little bit of time, but I think we should keep plugging away, because if we can bring some of these dollars back here to get those facades done and make our districts look really good, we should.
So these business owners, if they want to do this work, do they hire the contractors, or how does that work?
I mean, they have to be approved contractors. The state is involved in it. The state does inspections and makes sure things are going. We have ECIA that works with us too, our intergovernmental organization. So, I mean, they put it out for bid basically because there's city dollars put in. So you got to go with the lowest responsible bidder. So that's generally how the contractors come to about on that.
I know that, the shop owners in not only Clinton but Lyons, they're trying their best to put a good foot forward and get people to come into their store. Always got promotions going on, things like that.
Absolutely.
So we had Josh Agers in not long ago.
Yeah.
There's a big 2-for-1 promotion going on for tailgate and tall boys.
Yeah. So I mean, it was, and I'm sure Josh talked about this, but the whole idea was born out of trying to support the local people that support the festival, right? Obviously, the Clinton is on the hook for 50% of this production, and it was, how can we give back to the citizens? And this is one way that we thought maybe we could do that, right? We could offer this promotion if you're in the area. We've only promoted it locally. This is not like we're not promoting it nationwide on social medias and all that stuff. This is a local promotion to try to encourage the local people to support the festival. I'll be completely honest. The numbers of attendees from the local area is a small portion of who shows up to this event, less than 30%, right?
Okay.
If we want to keep things like this going, we want to keep new things coming and attractions like this, we got to support it if it's in our backyard, right? So we need that local support to be 60 or 70% every year, right? And I know money's tight and everybody has those issues to deal with and prices and all that stuff, but this is a really cool thing for our area. I think a lot of people really enjoy it. I think if you give it a shot, you'll enjoy it as well. And it's something that you'll plan for and look forward to, and this was one way to try to promote that, right? We want the local people to support on the ticket side. Now, that being said, on the business side, the sponsorship side, I could not be more happy with how well the sponsors have supported this event. I mean, there's a lot of businesses in town that have been involved, whether it's $500 up to $10,000 or more. And we've had an outpouring of support every year for sponsorships. We've maintained or increased every year as far as the generosity from those businesses, and I truly appreciate that because, again, that's just how we keep something like this in our community.
And, you know, the talent is amazing. Again, it's June 5th, 6th, and 7th. And, again, Josh, do you listen? Josh listens to this all the time. Are you listening to these guys?
Oh, I do. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I start listening to, you know, the lineups are born out of, obviously, the promoters kind of know who's hot in the industry, and then they know who we can get and who we can't get. And maybe they're booked, maybe the routing doesn't work. So they send us kind of ideas of who they want to get and things like that. And Josh and I look at Facebook and online because they always do a thing like, who do you want to see next year? And we try to take that into account, like, okay, this is what the people of Clinton are saying, you know, and we try to give that feedback to them and do that. So as soon as they send us people, like, I start listening to them because it could be something like, yeah, I don't think that'll work in Clinton, you know, like, no, not that person. And haven't been a lot of that, but there is some. But I think the important thing to note about our lineup is we've got some big names here, right? But the names that you might not know is because they're not on the radio. If you look at their socials and their Spotify and their Apple Music, they are extremely popular across the United States. They have great music. They have a ton of followers, a ton of people that are listening to their stuff. So you got to give it a chance, right? You can't have 12 Jason Aldeans. The budget just doesn't work out, right? I'd love to have 12 people his caliber all day long, right? Yeah. It just doesn't work out. But some of these guys like Preston Cooper, Old 60, Dylan Schneider, Graham Barham, I mean, these guys are amazing. And I think it's just important to note that. Go take a listen and then come on out and support. This is the best way to do it. You got a BOGO going on until Saturday. Buy one, get one free. I mean, come on. That's easy.
You know, and the thing, too, is nothing like being there in person.
Yeah.
I mean, you can listen to them on whatever platform, but to actually see them on stage, interacting with the stage, the audience is amazing.
Yeah, and live music is different than listening to it on the radio. It doesn't matter if you're going to a cover band at one of the bars in town on the weekend or you're going to a show like this. Live music is just different, right? And it's always more energetic. It's always more fun. And I think one thing we have to hang our hat on too is it's a great environment down there. It's safe. You can come and party and have a good time. You can bring your kids. You can bring a lawn chair. You can sit down and chill. Whatever you want to do, we have that available here. And I think it's important to know that it's safe. We don't have issues. We stack that place with public safety on purpose because we don't want issues. We want people to know that they can come here and have a good time and not have to deal with knuckleheads, you know, messing around and all that stuff. And that's really what this is about. And that was something that Josh and I stressed from the beginning. And the promoters are the same way. They don't want issues. They don't want to be known as a place where there's shenanigans going on, right? So it's kind of a good partnership between us because our values are truly the same.
Well, so now are you going to be in on the 11th? I know usually after Tailgate and Tall Boys, you go somewhere, you take some time off or relax a little bit.
On the 11th?
June 11th will be the next scheduled time.
I'll be here. Yeah.
You'll be around? Okay,
yeah,
very good.
I'm going to leave on the 13th.
Okay.
I'm going to go to Bloomington for their festival there.
Oh, okay.
My wife really wants to see Hardy, and he's going to be there on their Friday night. So
okay.
I was like, yep, we can go. We're going to go that night and
very good.
Hang
Always
out
appreciate your time. We'll see you on June 11th for sure
right.
then.
Yep.
All right. Once again, our thanks to Scott Maddasion stopping by again. He's in on the second Thursday of every month. Actually, June 12th is when he'll be in next. And then, of course, next week, we're going to hear from Wes Golden, Superintendent of Schools here in Clinton. We are your total source. KROS.
You're listening to AM 1340 KROS, Clinton, Iowa.
FM 105.9.
And KROSradio.com.